Hello and welcome to Microsoft Ignite. I am Rik Hepworth and I'm really pleased to be joined now by somebody I've known for a long time who's recently changed roles within Microsoft, Christos Matskas, who taught me how to pronounce his name the last time we met. I've remembered because I'm good like that. So Christos, you used to be a Premier Field Engineer and then you moved to marketing.
Yes.
So why? Man? What changed?
What a move. So Premier Field Engineer was an excellent role. If you ever done any consulting before, then it's the highest paced consulting job you will ever get. So from one day to another, you do something totally different, something totally rewarding. However, I wanted to have bigger impact, and that was the problem. As a PFE, you help a lot of companies to do amazing things, but the scope is very small. I wanted to reach out to more developers, I wanted to reach out to more companies and empower them to do amazing stuff with our technology. So marketing sounds like a weird role, but I'm on the dev tools, so technically anything that you guys use on Windows or Mac, even Linux, I can help you do better things. And I work with the PMs, the engineering team, and leadership to actually design strategy and see where we want to take our products.
Okay. So are you still hands-on, doing conference sessions, doing demos, doing the community engagement you used to do, or is the marketing side really sort of taken over your life?
Right now, I'm very new to the role, so it's like hands-on all the time, just getting to grips with the role, right? I have a lot of products to work on. I'm covering gaming, all the dev tools for gaming on our platform, all the mobile tools on our platform as well, and that includes Xamarin, obviously, for all .NET developers, but we're also looking at things like Cordova and React Native. So people that use VS Code to do React Native and how we can help them use Azure better, right? And then it's also the Azure dev tools that we have inside Visual Studio and the CLI and dev spaces as of next to it, plus VS for Mac. So, with all these products and trying to design the strategy and the vision, it takes a lot of time. However, as things settle down and I get to grips with the role, my hope is to start doing a lot more community engagement. Not in the same essence as conferences because it doesn't scale. Like if I spend half my time traveling and speaking to 400, 500 people, which is an amazing experience, unfortunately it's not the same as reaching out to 10,000 or a million.
Yeah.
So my focus now is how can I reach out to 1 million developers and help them do more stuff or teach them about something new that we just released.
Okay, so as a slightly off the wall question, one of the last things you did in the UK before you moved out here was you helped organise DDD Scotland.
Correct.
So I want to talk about that a little bit because I think actually encouraging people to organise those kinds of events is kind of important.
Yep.
But you're in Seattle now, so are we going to get a DDD Bellevue?
I don't think there's a series of DDDs in.
You should totally start it, man.
I could be the first seat of that. I don't see why not. I mean, we have a very vibrant community. The problem is that we have lots of conferences anyway, but DDDs are free, so that's one incentive to get people involved. But we're doing a lot of stuff with the reactor down in Seattle, so for DDD, people that want to go to free events, we have tons of stuff that our CBAs are putting together at the reactor down in Seattle. And we have one in London as well. I like the spirit of DDD. I won't lie. It's what got me into speaking. I started with DDD, and it's amazing because it doesn't set up high expectations for speakers. It's a good place for people to go and learn and interact with the community. So we may not have DDD Bellevue, but we'll definitely help out with the DDD Scotland next year when we decide to do another one.
Excellent, that's really great. So you're hoping that you'll come across to the UK, maybe submit a session, hopefully it might get voted in, you never know.
I'll probably help more on the organizing stuff and help reach out and advertise things. It takes a lot of people to actually set one of these conferences up, I won't lie. The logistics behind these are incredible. So any help is always welcome. Whether you're a volunteer or a speaker or somebody behind the scenes helping with good stuff, then it's amazing. So I'm hoping to help remotely in the same essence that Andrew Westcott does every year.
He does, yeah, he's still involved in DDD North and DDD Reading with us.
He's the man.
So as somebody who's done, obviously like me, that community engagement, speaking at user groups, have you got any tips that you might give to people who feel that they'd like to maybe get into that and start doing it themselves?
I would say do it. If you're thinking about submitting to a conference, if you're thinking about getting on the speaking stuff, find something that you're passionate about, and then go out and talk about it. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be somebody that knows 100% of the framework, but talk about the stuff that you do, things that you fail on as well. People love about hearing about failures and how you learn about what to do next. So it doesn't have to be always something on tech. It could be something softer. Your skills as a developer, how do you manage your time as well? We know lots of people want to contribute to open source and they don't know how to get started. So if you're doing anything that is related to technology, please go out and share it because we need more speakers.
Okay, that's cool. So let's shift to what you're doing now then. So you're working in developer tools. What does that entail as a team? Are you trying to bridge the gap between the product teams and the developer environments and write some of that rich tooling that I get when I do, say, a new C# project or a new web project, that kind of stuff?
Yes. So what we're trying to do in my team as we work with dev tools is, first of all, remove friction. How can we get people to use our tools in the least amount of steps? If we have 20 steps then to do something, then can we get them down to 10? If you're using our tools and you got feedback, then this is something that we want to hear as well, whether it's negative or positive. And this is very important to us because feedback is what shapes our roadmaps for the future. So what I'm doing right now is obviously promoting the good stuff that we do. So every time we have a release, we want to be the ones that write about it. We want to promote it as much best we can, and then work with the community to get that feedback back and feed it back to the engineering team. So I act like an intermediate between our developers, like an advocate at a bigger scale, and then the engineering team. So on a weekly basis, I have tons of meetings with the PMs, either one-to-one or bigger teams, to actually decide what we've done, what we're doing forward, what our roadmap looks like. And then we have also bigger plans about gaming, for example, where we're fairly new on the Azure space. So we want to see how we can engage developers that write games, whether it's C++, C#, with Unity or other frameworks, and help them onboard onto Azure.
So is your role more sort of outward facing in terms of promoting the tools to the users, or are you almost facing the opposite direction where you're the channel of the voice of us, the users, into your team, or is this a bit of a mix of both?
It's a mix of both. Sometimes my time is spent more on the customer research, so we have people that do the customer research, the feedback to us, and then we feed that back to the engineering team. And sometimes it's having discussions with the engineering team about how we can improve the experience and what they're thinking about, and then talk about the things that we should be focusing on, the new features that we need to focus on, new workloads that we want to onboard. Maybe what's not used anymore. There are cases that we want to, or we need to replicate stuff because putting engineering effort on things that are not used at all, and that's all based on data. So we have an incredible amount of telemetry coming out from our systems, and we use that to actually feed back to the engineering.
And obviously in the new world, this isn't your grandfather's Microsoft, so you're on multiple platforms. You've got people using non-Microsoft technologies but inside Microsoft IDEs. What effect does that have when you're working as a team trying to build this tooling that you've got? Do you try and ensure a consistent approach across platforms, or do you try and make them more focused on the native experience? How do you manage that variety and those challenges?
Well, we have a big team, right? So I'm not alone on this one. We have people within my team alone, and then in the wider marketing team and engineering. The goal is to go where the developers are. So if you are working on a Mac and you want to use the command line, and how can we make that experience best for you to use our tools? If we don't want to drag you into Windows using Visual Studio just because that's our only product now, right? In the past, that was the case, but in the last 5 years, we've made such a huge shift, which means that we need more people to help out with that, and the load is a lot more spread. So we need to be aware of what and how Linux works, and what the developers do on Linux. Is there any point for us bringing Visual Studio on Linux when maybe people don't like IDEs on Linux, right? So trying to understand what our audience wants rather than what we want to push out is a very important part of it all.
Are you trying to engage directly then with the community of users to get that kind of feedback, or are you trying to channel some of that comms through obviously Microsoft's friends in Red Hat, Ubuntu, and some of the other organizations that maybe have already got those established relationships?
We already have a lot of established relationships with these companies, and it's a combined effort. Sometimes we have combined campaign strategies out there, or advertising about how you can use Linux on Windows, or how you can use our Azure CLI tools on Linux. We've done lots of keynote deliveries out there. We go to conferences that are not Microsoft affiliated or in the past they weren't anyway. And now we're doing keynotes on these conferences because people want to see us on stage. They want to see what we can offer them on their native environments, right? So we a lot of time is spent in trying to think about how we can collaborate together to improve the experience of those users. Whether you're on Linux or a Mac or Windows, whether you're using our tools or somebody else's tools, how can we make it better?
So, when you were a PFE, you were obviously largely focused on Microsoft tech. Have you found that shift to be much broader, less focused on Microsoft and more focused on how Microsoft teaches everything else to be a challenge, or has it been fun and interesting as you shifted roles?
It's definitely interesting, I would say that. I mean, the amount of people I reach out on a weekly basis has blown up. I'm also meeting a lot of new people. Everyone is very energized about what we do. Funny thing, when I was a PFE, because my focus was on .NET Core, we ended up doing a lot of things on people that were using native Linux. Lots of banks today use Linux and want to use .NET Core, so we do lots of projects around that. In fact, it increases the scope of the engagement, which is quite scary when you think that you need to know how things work on Linux or on a Mac and what are the challenges. But today, it's really exciting to see how I can take that knowledge from the field and maybe the pain points I had there and bring them into marketing and explain that and pass it on to the engineering team to make it better. Even though my scope is a lot smaller, coming from the field, now I can take that feedback and combine it with everybody else's feedback and probably enhance the emails that the engineering team.
So in the good old days, we all used to live in Visual Studio on Windows. We created .NET projects. We were fairly siloed. Obviously, then that's starting to fracture and break apart as our projects get more diverse. What do you think that's going to mean for things like the developer tools team over the next few years? What do you think? How do you think you guys are going to manage that change from one tool, one tech to a massive spread?
It's definitely a challenge, right? Because we now have to cover 3 platforms, and our frameworks and tools need to work on most of them if we can. And the bigger challenge also is providing a consistent experience. So when it comes to, in the past, if you wanted to do .NET, it was just Visual Studio. But now you have choices. You can use a Visual Studio on Windows, or if you have a Mac, then you can say, I might as well use Visual Studio for Mac because I like an ID. But there might be a person that likes to double in the command line. So in that case, VS Code is for you. We have a lot more choices, and what I think we have a challenge on is providing a clear message on those products. And even here we see a little bit of confusion where I understand VS for Mac and people come and say, oh, you can't VS Studio for Mac. Can I actually do my Windows Forms or WPF development? It's a case of, because we have Visual Studio in the name, people already make that assumption. Visual Studio Code is a lot more recent as a product, so it has a different kind of perception, so people know that certain workloads don't run. But I think we need to do better work in the messaging, making it clear what things work really well on what platform, and what to choose and when to choose it. Like you could use a combination of tools, it doesn't have to be one or the other. You can do a few things in Node, in VS Code, because that's awesome. But if you want to edit your front-end views and stuff on ASP Core, then maybe an ID is better because it provides a better experience. So in my mind, it's all about choosing the best tools for the job rather than trying to force people down a specific tool.
Sense. So you mentioned that people have been coming up and talking to you on the stand. When you're here in the expo, do you come with sort of specific questions in mind that you want to ask the people that are coming and talking to you to use it as an information gathering exercise, or are you much more at the moment, responding to what they're coming and asking you about?
It's usually a conversation. They will approach us with a question that they might have, and then we use that as the discussion opener for hey, if you had a magic wand and you could use it to fix something, what would that be? Like, do you want to see, I don't know, Swift running on VS Code or VS for Mac? Or do you have any pain points? Like, what are we not doing well? Speak to us, and we take that feedback and then we feed it directly into our engineering team. So we are here to engage with the users and raise awareness, both for them. Like, these are all the things that you can do with our tools, and then also take that feedback and then feed it back to the engineering team. So if we find common themes or common problems that people come across, then we can definitely use that, because today it's all about feedback. I wasn't in the engineering teams back in 5 years ago, so I don't know how they operated, but today it's all about data, user data. We get the feedback from the users, we scope them into our roadmap, we prioritize them accordingly, and then we try to be as transparent and open as we can. If we're not enough, then people should let us know as well. And I had questions about roadmaps and stuff, so it's something that people want to see. What is the team doing with my problem?
So has it been a good conference for you then? Have you had lots of people come up and talk to you, and you've had some great conversations?
It's been really good. I mean, Ignite predominantly has been more ops rather than dev, and we're trying to change that. We brought a lot more sessions for devs, and we brought a lot more devs to speak to our audience. So like last year we did not have that much engagement. This year is a lot more busy, and lots of foot traffic around our booths. It's nice to see people coming to speak to us about stuff. We have excellent swag as well, so that's also a good...
Really? You didn't give me swag? What have you got?
Well, I've come by the booth. Ask a good question and you get swag. I'm kidding. It doesn't have to be a good question, just come and see us. Yeah, it's been really good, and I think the focus is going Swift. Ideally, we want half and half. We want people to come in here to understand how to do ops, and then we also want devs to come here and understand how they can use the tech. And it's all surprising because we have IT people coming and saying, you know what can I do with VS for Mac? And it might not be their workload that we can support, but I use that to say, did you know they can run PowerShell on Mac these days? Did you know you can use RCLI as an alternative when you work on these tools? So it doesn't have to be one or the other. Wow, I didn't know. How does PowerShell work on Mac? So that's a good conversation. Then we push them down to the .NET Core team, and then they have a conversation there about other stuff. So it's really exciting to see these people coming around, even ops people who want to engage with us and see what the developer tools can do for them.
I use Visual Studio Code as my primary PowerShell editor these days. So yeah, I mean, one of the guys that works with me always says, well, everybody's a dev, right? Even if you think of yourself as an IT pro, if you're writing a PowerShell script, that's dev. You might not necessarily make that connection, but it is, and you should be version controlling those scripts.
And unit testing.
Exactly. All the practices that the dev community has had for a long time, we in ops should be adopting to make our processes better and more robust. But we've got sort of different demands, if you like, than those devs. And yeah, that must be interesting. So what about talking to other teams then? Do you find that something like Ignite is a great melting pot because you're on stands close to each other? You can sort of wander around and get their views.
Yes.
Because you guys are good at dog food, right? I mean, the guys in Microsoft have got to be using your tools to build our stuff. Yeah?
They do, yeah. Even VS for Mac now switched to a dog food approach, like Visual Studio. So we're aligning our priorities quite a bit, and the way that we work, because Visual Studio has been out there for 20 years. VS for Mac is a much more product. So what we want to do is adopt the best practices from VS and bring them to VS for Mac and all the other tools. Right? So if you're pushing something out, we want our engineers to be the first ones to use those tools in order to experience what it looks like when things don't go well or things work really well. We also need to, I mean, there's no customer here that only uses one product or writes one single thing inside. There's always this kind of collaboration, and there have been many cases where people come to me from another booth, where the booth staff will bring over and say, this guy has a question about you guys, and I will do the same. I'll redirect them to another booth to discuss about the solution. Sometimes I can help them on the booth as well. So if they have a specific problem, then we try to bring out holistically and say, you know what, you can use these tools, but as you move to Azure, then you can also benefit of all the other services that we have to get a solution.
So what about some of the great external partners that you've got then? I mean, I know there are some great add-ins for Visual Studio Code to manage my Docker containers, and there's tooling inside VS for that. How do you manage that relationship where you're trying to bring a great experience inside the Microsoft tooling for partner products?
It's all about having an open platform to allow people to extend and grow, right? So for us, having that kind of ecosystem where people can contribute and help the community grow faster, it's a great experience. And even though we have a massive engineering team, we can't do everything ourselves. So it's all about working together in an open space to adopt better tools, make better tools. And there's been many cases where we collaborate internally. We have engineering teams working on those tools, even though they're not ours, because we want to make developers' experiences better.
So, last topic, last question. So I know you just recently made that huge move from Glasgow to Seattle. What's it like moving from Scotland, where your office was, I assume, largely your back garden as a mobile PFE,
Yes,
all the way across to working on campus with all the great guys in Red? But how have you found it?
it's mesmerizing. I mean, apart from the size of the move and putting everything into a container and coming here and then finding out and sorting out the huge schools. We tick the big boxes, checklist very quickly. My wife has done an amazing job. Kudos to her. But from a personal perspective, being on the campus, I was working up until last week on Building 2, which is one of the first buildings that Microsoft ever established. So it's even the history of those buildings. You vibe and you walk in and say, you know what, Bill Gates was working this floor. It's amazing. Unfortunately, they're demolishing this down to build a new campus.
Oh really? I hadn't realised they were knocking those down.
Yeah, 1 to 10 is actually being brought down. There's an amazing video on YouTube that shows what the next big thing would look like. We're being moved to Bellevue for now, but we still work very closely with our engineering teams, and we're going to be spending a lot of time back in Redmond, reaching out to people that I worked with or I admire or I follow on Twitter, and having lunch with them or having coffee and discussing about what we can do together. And everyone has amazing ideas. That's the other thing. Everyone's so energized and excited about the stuff we're working on. Just grabs off from everyone, right? So it's exciting to be here because it's buzzing and we're working on some really exciting stuff. I wish I could disclose everything that we have on our plates, but the next few years, if you're a developer, are going to be amazing. We're doing some really exciting stuff with our products, and since I focus on dev tools, I want to make that experience the best. So it's all about unblocking, getting some great ideas, and all these conversations we have and putting them in play. And every time I discuss with something, I'm like, we could do this in marketing. We can help you guys promote all the things that you do. So making it visible, that's my goal. Let you know what we're doing, what's coming.
Okay, and that's a great high note to end on. So, Christos, thank you very much for taking the time to sit down with me. It's been wonderful catching up with you here at Ignite, and thank you, the viewers.
Thank you very much.